Hello, everyone. It's good to be here again and to see you and to have read your work. And for this meeting, we will be talking about revision. Revision, why is it important now? It's important now because you have done the early work of preparing the rough draft, and some of you have even gone for more than just a rough draft. The drafts are somewhat finding their shapes in some of yours. All right, now we will be talking about revision and how to do that. And first of all, however, I would like to talk about why revision is important. Yeah, why is it important? Because let me quote this from Thomas Alva Edison to make it look more like a writing class, right? You need some inspiration. Okay, so why is revision important? Because actually, genius, in the words of Thomas Alva Edison, is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Here, what he means by 1% inspiration is that when the idea to do something comes, it is just 1% of the hard work. Of course, this 1% doesn't come naturally, doesn't come automatically to any single person in the world. You need to have built years of learning something and months of thinking about something and maybe hours of just walking and relaxing and let your mind flow to eventually create this. Yeah, this great thing, this inspiration is actually just 1% of it, in the words of Thomas Alva Edison, of course. And the rest, if you want to make this inspiration into something meaningful, something great, a masterpiece, or a findings, or any great achievement in life, whether it be in art, literature, or in science, you need to put a lot of hard work into it. And the hard work in the case of writing is revision, 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 and checking it to people, right? And checking it with other people. So that's what we will be doing now. In your case, however, you have done more than just 1%. Of course, you have found the inspiration and you have done the revision or the early draft or rough draft. That is a lot. It is, I cannot deny that you have put hours into it. So that is enough to work on. And I think it's not just 1%, maybe 30%. What you need to put more is the rest, the remaining 70%, which I believe you can do with some guidance, of course. Yeah. So what I will now show you is what I have commented on your plot summaries yesterday. It's 4 elements only for now, okay? And they are the plot. You need to work on the plot. By plot here, I'm referring to how you present the facts in your story, okay? Which one you want to show first, which one comes later, and how you will end the story. In most of your works, I have commented on by saying that it's going to be better if you put the conflict in the beginning of the story, not in the second part. And I told you also not to open the story with a once upon a time maybe, or in the city here, there is a girl here. Please try not to open a 3-paragraph story with that. Go straight with a sentence that surprises, that shows an unusual fact, or go altogether with a conflict or something that shocks the audience. So that's when it comes to plot, that's what I would suggest for you to do. And the second thing is about sentence clarity. By sentence clarity here, I mean, try to be specific. Actually, it's more on sentence specificity. Be specific. By being specific, I mean, instead of saying, a girl wants to do this, it's better for you to give the character a name. Maybe Claudia, maybe Putri or something. Give the character a name. And after that, try to reduce using there was a man who blah blah blah. The word there was is not very loaded when it comes to sentence. It doesn't really help stimulating the imagination. It's better for you to go straight into the subject, like the man or John, and then continue with verb and so on. Because what stimulates our imagination the most is when we have an object or a person or something we can see doing something, the process of working on something, the movement that stimulates the imagination better. And the third thing is about using dialogues. A 3-paragraph story is a story with a very limited space, and dialogue tends to take up a lot of space. So what you can do is limit your dialogues. Use only one direct sentence maybe in the story. Pick one particular statement by the character to be presented in direct sentence. Other than that, you can revise them and change them into a narration. That would be better, and that would be wise in dealing with the space when it comes to a 3-paragraph story. And last but not least, which is the most important thing here, is try to find a setting, a specific setting or a moment in the story to be the setting of your 3-paragraph story. So instead of narrating from the beginning until the end, you can choose to pick, for example, at a very critical moment in the story in which truth is going to be revealed as the setting. So your character will remember the beginning, the conflict leading towards this part. Am I saying this clearly, guys? Basically, if the story is about a boy who leaves his house to find a monster in the mountain and then deciding to go home, if the story is like that, then try to pick the moment, maybe the moment right after the boy leaves the monster's lair, monster's den, as the setting of the story. So in your story, the character will be remembering that he came to the mountain because he left the home, but in the mountain, he finds a monster. And now, which is the moment when the character talks, is when he is trying to get away from the mountain. Okay, so that's you pick this scene to be the point where the character narrates the story. So pick one particular point. Do not use like you tell the story from the beginning until the end chronologically like that. And what I didn't mention here is the use of sentence grammar, especially the verb tense. Please decide which verb tense you want to use. Conventionally, traditionally, English writers use past tense to narrate a story, but nowadays it's getting more and more common for us to see stories narrated in the present tense. But be consistent. If you pick to use past tense, then stick with the past tense. If you want to use simple present or present tense, stick with present tense. All right, now let us go to the last part of what you have done. I'm going to show a brief revision on a student's work, okay? All right, let me share a new part. Okay, So I'm just going to turn off the video so it won't disturb us. Here, the story here is about a girl who receives an eye transplant after an accident. However, surprisingly, the eye transplant makes her see a supernatural world. So the eye transplant uh, creates some kind of glitch in the system, in the neuron system, so that she can perceive things that she doesn't normally see. All right, here is the story. We can say that this is the beginning, how she loses her eyesight, her sight. It's about an accident. So there was a fight, and she goes out, and she's pierced uh, by sharp, I would say, ice crystals, icicles. And eventually she's taken to a hospital. And in the hospital, she meets this girl who is about to die. And she decides to donor her eyes. And the girl who just got an accident receives the transplant. And that's when she starts seeing supernatural world. So for a story like this, I actually prefer for it to start with the most shocking thing here. What is it? It's the fact that she now can see the supernatural world. So I would just take this and cut it and paste it over here. I open the story with this because this is the most shocking word. And to achieve that, I will also do some revision on the first sentence, of course, to make it strong and shocking the way I want it. And for this, what I would do is, since it is narrated in the third person, then maybe you can just say, by the way, the character here doesn't have a name. Of course, you want to give the character a name. Like, okay, if it is related to eyes, maybe I will just give, out of the blue, I will think of Visa or Visu. It's an unusual name, maybe, but it's related to vision. Visu saw, instead of supernatural world, give a specific example of this world. What does this world have? Is it a world of uh, colors, like in the movie The Aquaman, when he goes into the underwater, under the ocean, and could see beautiful things over there? Maybe she saw vibrant purple plants surrounding the hospital, for example. Right after she got her eye transplant. Okay, so I'm assuming here the writer wants to use past tense. So instead of saying supernatural world, I want to give something specific, something that exemplifies the supernatural world. So here is what I use. We saw some vibrant purple plants and maybe flying turtles, blue flying turtles, surrounding the hospital right after she got her eye transplant. How can this not be shocking? It is shocking to read something like this. And after that, you may spoon feed your audience a little bit by saying, later she found that it's the supernatural world. Open to her thanks to the eye transplant. Or here, she opens her eyes. Oh, actually, she already has this. So maybe we can erase this. We can delete this and go straight. But what I want to suggest here is for the writer here to use a consistent verb tense. If you start with past tense, then go ahead and continue with past tense. But if you start with simple present, then go ahead and use it. But basically what I wanted to show from this first couple of minutes is that you need to be brave in changing the order of your story. If earlier it was the second paragraph, you can move it to the first paragraph. That's one. And the second thing is that you need to be more specific, like first of all, giving the character a name. And instead of saying the supernatural word, you show examples of it. You don't just tell about it, but you show it. All right. So that's what I want you guys to start doing today with your story. What you have done is a great achievement. I do appreciate that. But remember, when it comes to writing, revision is probably twice as long as the writing process, as the drafting process. That's at least. And when you do revision, do not be afraid of slashing things, moving things, adding things. Basically, anything that can help you achieve what you want to present to your audience. I think that's all for now. I hope this brief discussion can prepare you to revise your work so that next week you can have a full-fledged 3-paragraph story. All right, everyone. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much. I'll see you in class later at 9. Okay? Bye.